you ought to be happy where you are working. And I always worry about people who say, I'm going to do this for 10 years, I really don't like it very well, and then I'll do 10 more years of this. That's a little like saving up sex for your old age. Not a very good idea.
In this video, Warren Buffett, CEO of Berkshire Hathaway, gives advice to young people to help them better improve their chances of living a happy and successful life. We hope this information inspires you to get started on your dream. So please watch until the end. And if you're new here, consider subscribing so that you won't miss other educated videos like this. Let's get started. Warren Buffett discusses some of the traits and factors that got him the success that he has today.
It's pretty simple in my case. It's not IQ. I'm sure you'll all be glad to hear that. Everybody in this room has more IQ than they need to do my job. The thing is rationality. I always look at IQ and talent as sort of representing the horsepower of the motor, but then in terms of the output, the efficiency with which the motor works, that depends on rationality, because a lot of people start out with 400 horsepower motors and get 100 horsepower of output, and it's way better to have a 200 horsepower motor and get it all into output. And so why do smart people do things that interfere with really getting the output they're entitled to? And it gets into habits, into character, into temperament, and it really gets into behaving in a rational manner. It's not getting in your own way. As I say, everybody here has the ability absolutely to do anything I do and much beyond. And some of you will and some of you won't. But the ones that won't, it will be because you get in your own way. It won't be because the world doesn't allow you to. It will be because you don't allow yourself to. So I have one little suggestion for you. Pick out the person in the class that you admire the most, and then write down why you admire them. Put down a list of qualities. You're not to name yourself in this. And then put down the one that, frankly, you could stand the least in the whole group. And put down the qualities that turn you off in that person. And look at that list, and you won't find it's a bunch of things like throwing a football 70 yards or anything of the sort. The qualities of the first one that you admire are qualities that you, with a little practice, can make your own, and which, if practiced, will become habit forming. The chains of habit are too light to be felt until they're too heavy to be broken. I mean, my age, I can't change any of my habits. I'm stuck. But at your age, you will have the habits 20 years from now that you decide to put into practice today. So I just suggest that you look at the habits you admire in others, or the behavior you admire in others, and make those your own habits, and you look at what you really find somewhat reprehensible in others, and just decide those are things you're not going to do. Ben Franklin did that a few hundred years ago, and it still works today. And if you do that, you'll find that you convert all your horsepower into output.
Warren Buffett then defines how he describes success personally.
I can certainly define happiness, because that's what I am. I get to do what I like to do every single day of the year, and I get to do it with people I like. I don't have to associate with anybody who causes my stomach to churn. The only thing in my job I don't like, and this only happens about every 3 or 4 years, occasionally I have to fire somebody, and I don't like. That's the only thing. Other than I tap dance to work, and I get down there and I think I'm supposed to lie on my back and paint the ceiling, or something. That's the way I feel, and it doesn't diminish. It's tremendous fun. They say that success is getting what you want, and happiness is wanting what you get. Well, I don't know which one applies in this case, but I do know that I wouldn't be doing anything else. I do advise you, when you go out to work, go to work for an organization that you admire, people you admire, because it'll turn you on, and you ought to be happy where you are working. And I always worry about people who say, I'm going to do this for 10 years, I really don't like it very well, and then I'll do 10 more years of this. That's a little like saving up sex for your old age. Not a very good idea. Get right into what you enjoy, and you'll be successful at it. You really will. I don't regard what I do as the most important thing in the world at all, but it's right for me. I happen to be wired in a certain way that what I do works in this. If I had to do what Bill does, I mean, it lasts about 10 minutes. And that's true of a lot of things. But luckily, I kind of stumbled into the thing that I do best, and it's worked out well. I have turned down business deals that were otherwise decent deals because I didn't like the people that I would have to work with. I didn't see any sense to get involved with people that really cause your stomach to churn. I say it's a lot like marrying for money. It's probably a bad idea under any circumstances, but it's absolutely crazy if you're already rich, right?
Warren describes what innovation means to him and how it's applicable to his field of work.
I don't do a lot of innovating in what I do. I really have just 2 functions in my job. One is to allocate capital, which I enjoy doing, and the second one is to have a group of managers, to keep a group of people, 15 or 20 managers, enthused about what they do when they have no financial need to do it whatsoever. At least 3/4 of the managers we have are rich beyond any possible financial need. And therefore my job is to figure out how to cause them to want to jump out of bed at 6 in the morning and work with all of the enthusiasm they did when they were poor and starting. And if I do those two things, they do the innovation of it.
Warren then discusses his biggest role models and what role did they have in his success.
Instead of calling them role models, I call them heroes, actually. And I think if you tell me who your heroes are, I can tell you how you're going to turn out to quite an extent by this point in life. I've been extraordinarily lucky, and that none of my heroes ever let me down. The ones I came up throughout their lives, I've never felt that I've been let down in any way with it. Number one was my dad. Had a huge impression on me. My wife is one of my heroes. She's taught me a tremendous amount, and never seen anybody any better with human beings than she is. Yogi Berra again said you can observe a lot just by watching. And I watched my dad, and I've watched her. And I had a professor, Ben Graham, back at Columbia, and had a huge impact on me. So I have been lucky in that I've had terrific heroes, and they haven't let me down, and that takes you a long way. I've gone through one or two periods where we're tough in life. Everybody's had that, but having the right heroes will take you right through it.
Warren then discusses the best business decisions he made throughout his career.
I think just jumping in the pool, basically. I've always enjoyed what I've done, and a few things have worked out very well. And the nice thing about the investment business is that you don't need very many. You'll see plenty of times when you get chances to do things that just shout at you. And the thing you have to do is when that happens, you have to take a big swing. That is no time to be reading a book on the theory of diversification. When you find something where you know the business, it's within your circle of competence, you understand it, the price is right, the people are right, then you take your thumb out of your mouth and you barrel in. We went into a terrible business because it was cheap. And it's what I refer to as the used cigar butt approach to investing. You see this cigar butt down there, it's soggy, it's terrible, but there is one puff in it and it's free. That's what Berkshire was when we bought it. I was selling below working capital. Actually buying Berkshire Hathaway, buying control of it, was probably the biggest single bad decision that I've made. I made all kinds of decisions that have cost us billions of dollars, but they've been mistakes of omission rather than commission. There were businesses that we knew enough to buy a lot of. I don't worry about not buying Microsoft because I didn't understand that business. I didn't understand Intel, but there were businesses that I did understand. Fannie Mae was one. I made a decision to buy it, and I didn't execute. And we would have made many billions of dollars on something that was within my circle of competence, and I didn't do it. And you don't see that. Conventional accounting doesn't record that. But believe me, it happened.
Warren then talks about a very important concept of would he change anything about his life and the reasoning behind it.
I never look back. I don't worry about anything. So I consider myself unbelievably lucky. So the idea of saying I could have even been a little luckier if this or that had happened, I could have been a lot better looking, or I could have been a better athlete, or all that stuff, but so what? You play the hand you get, you play it as well as you can. The odds were, when I was born, the odds were over 50 to 1 against me being born in the United States. I had a 2% probability. If I'd known that, I might have given up and not come out. But here it was. I was lucky enough to be born here, and I was lucky enough to have two terrific parents. And they raised the three kids in a way that helped me enormously in life. But when you got all that going for you, I just don't think you look back and think about anything that could be changed better. I'm thankful.
Lastly, Warren answers the question of how would he restart if he lost everything.
Essentially, the things I've applied in the past are going to be applicable in the future. If I lost it all without losing any money of any other people, it wouldn't bother me a lot. If I took other people down with me, it would kill me. That is the one thing that would destroy me, because I'm not sure I'd recover from that. But if it was just my money, it wouldn't make any difference at all, because I keep living about the same. Have to give up the plane. But I eat the same way everybody in this room eats. In terms of medical care or anything, there's very little difference in the people in this room live now and are going to live in the next 10 years than the way I do. So I wouldn't miss anything. I would like to keep playing the game because I enjoy it. So if I had the knowledge that I've had that gotten me here, and I had anything to work with at all, and I could probably talk somebody into giving me a few bucks to start it. But I would have a lot of fun playing the game again. I'm not sure I want to follow your experiment, but I think it'd be just about as much fun as what I do. As long as people didn't go down with me, that would be no fun.
If you found value in this video, we would like to give you another interesting video for you to enjoy next. We would, however, highly appreciate it if you could like this video and share it with your friends on social media. Don't forget to subscribe if you are new here so you won't miss another one of our videos. The more you learn, the more you earn.